truck of your dreams from 865 Autos.
Today's Daily Encouragement by William the Encourager, sponsored by Ted Russell Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty on Kingston Pike.
Good morning. It's Friday. Praise ye the Lord. And you know what? This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And this, my friends, this in Romans 15:7, I'm not going to tell you what it says until we do what? Yes, we've got to pray. Father, we thank you. Thank you, Lord God, that you brought us through another week. Thank you, Lord God, that you held back death. Lord, you held back famine. You held back trouble, Lord God. And thank you, Lord God, that you showed up and showed out, Lord, and that you sent your angels to build a fence around us all week long, our loved ones and families, Lord, and we thank you today, and we give you glory, honor, and praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Romans 15:7 says, accept one another, then, just as Christ accepted you, in order to bring praise to God. Are we accepting one another, or are we looking at one another and judging? Judging one another. Oh my goodness. To set in false judgment on other Christians is a violation of Paul's exhortation to accept one another. Interestingly, he uses two concepts concurrently to make his point in his Romans letter. Thus he wrote, except him whose faith is weak, without passing judgment on despicably matters. So we need to stop passing on these judgments on people that don't look like us, that don't drive the cars we drive, that don't live in the houses we live, that don't think like us, that don't have what we have. Had it not been for the Lord, where would you be, my brothers and sisters? Had it not been for God, where would you be? We are to help one another. You know, it's important, first of all, to make sure, and other Christians in your church and your home really understand what Paul was teaching in Romans 14. This passage is woefully misinterpreted and misapplied. You must understand, first, Paul was teaching that neither the weak nor the strong are to judge one another. This is a two-way responsibility, and we must understand that in many 20th century church, the strong are accepted to bear full responsibility. This, of course, is a violation of Paul's teaching. Second, the strong Christian is to be careful not to cause a weaker brother or sister to fail. You have to be careful judging people. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know. You need to evaluate your own attitudes and actions. Are you accepting or rejecting people upon your own standards you have set up or accepted because of your own weak conscience? If you are judging your brothers. This Paul forbids in Romans 14. Brothers and sisters, judging one another without a cause. God is going to judge us. Yes, there's some things you judge. You judge fruit. You judge works. You judge how people look. But sometimes we need to just say, you know what? That could have been me. That could have been me. But praise God, because greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And that's what we need to start praying for others. Those that don't have, pray that they would get what they need. Those that don't know, pray that God would give them wisdom and understanding, that they might be able to understand like you do, that they might understand that they are a masterpiece. So remember, my brothers and sisters, remember, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Roane, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
All righty. It's football time in Tennessee, boys and girls. Dragons kicking it off tonight in Cleveland. We're going to be there live in living color. Walt Stair, Jim Hollingsworth, and even James David. James David Meredith could be down there in Cleveland live with all of the play-by-play action from our Dragon alumni crew. I hope you'll tune in. We're going to get our pregame started about 6:40 this evening, so I hope that you'll be here if you got anything to add. I was talking to Jasper last night. He went to the Anderson County Powell game, said it was a barn burner. The Mavs held on to win that. Coming back third. Good game. 3-point, I think it was. Good game. Hopefully we'll have a good game tonight. Cleveland is quite the team. Dragons, I don't know. I really don't know what to expect out of this new Dragon team. I think we've got 18 of 22 starters that left. 22 people on the team. What? Yes, 18 people that won't be did not return. That's what I'm trying to say. So there's some work to do, but there's a lot of excitement down there right now. A lot of excitement on the Clinton football team, and we'll see how that transpires tonight, live on the radio, and I hope that you'll tune in. So is there anything that you'd like to ask? Is there anything you'd like to share? Is there anything you'd like to talk about today on Ask Your Neighbor? If so, you just dial 865-457-1380 or 877-711-4005. The other day when Sheriff Barker was here Wednesday, we were touching on the Anderson County Republican Party and current Representative John Reagan asking to contest the outcome of the race. What are your thoughts on that? If you have any. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to talk about that. You can do anything you want to do. Good morning. This is Ask Your Neighbor, WYSH. Hi.
Hello, Ron.
What are you doing, Pat? Morning.
I need your help and your listeners' help to prove to my friends that I'm not crazy, okay?
Well, I don't know if we can do that or not, but we'll try.
Well, look, Ron. It's funny how you sitting around just talking about something. Anyway, we're sitting around here the other day, and we was talking about eating raw eggs.
Ooh.
And anyway, I told them, and they said I'm crazy. At one time, I had Marshall Andy's phone number. I don't have it no. I know he could tell me, but I was telling him in some of these old westerns, some of them bars had a machine. It was something similar to the old coffee machine they used to have on the wall. It had a wheel on it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But they took a mug of beer and dropped the raw egg in it, and they cranked this handle and shook that egg up in that beer. And they said, no, I said, I ain't never, all the westerns I've seen, I've never, I said, but I said, I know I've seen it. I've looked on my phone. I've looked up every name I need to call that thing. If there's anyone out there that can send me a picture or call and tell me what that's called where I can look it up myself, but I need to prove to them that I was right. Have you ever seen one?
No, I don't reckon.
My goodness gracious, Ron.
I don't know. Not to my knowledge. I'm sitting here trying to think about it. I mean,
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I've seen it in different westerns. You don't see it that often, but I'm pretty sure that was in the. Of course, there's been so many movies made about Wild Bill Hickok.
Sure.
But one of the later ones that was made, they had one of them machines setting up on the bar. But anyway, if anybody out there, I know it sounds crazy, but I got to prove these people that I ain't crazy. But if anybody out there can call me and tell me, my number is 865-406-5684. And if anybody can tell me or send me a picture, the first one that does that, I'll give them either a metal barrel or a plastic barrel, whichever one they want. They just have to come by and pick it up.
Well, I was sitting here reading it. It said that now, I don't know about the machine, but I'm sitting here looking at the reason folks did that or do that. It says it mellows the taste. Adding a raw egg to beer is a practice that can be found in some cultures, often associated with certain cocktails or drinks. They said it changes the texture of the beer, adds a rich creamy texture to it. The nutritional value, and they say a raw egg has a mild flavor. It adds a subtle richness to the beer, changes the flavor, and makes it more smooth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've heard it. I've also heard it called the miner's breakfast. But, I mean, they do that, but there's a machine they used to use. And like I said, if anybody can send me a picture, I'd appreciate that. Or if they can call me, and the first one that does that, I'll give them a barrel for the trouble.
All right.
Hey, thank you, sir.
See you, buddy. Now I'm curious. I'm looking. All right. I don't see anything about the machine. Okay. Anybody? There's somebody. Maybe this. Good morning. Welcome to Ask Your Neighbor, WYSH.
Yes. I want to know if I could do this. We've got a lost dog on Glendale.
Uh-oh. You found one or you lost one?
No, one lost around here. We live at 616 Glendale in South Clinton, and it's been around here for 3 or 4 days.
What's he look like?
It looks like a hound dog. I mean, it's big as a hound dog, but it looks like a small. It looks like a smaller dog, and it's a male dog. So if somebody's missing one, I wish they'd come around here and get it.
Over on Glendale Avenue?
Pardon me?
Where you at?
It's 616 Glendale in South Clinton.
Gotcha. 616 Glendale, South Clinton. Well, hopefully somebody's listening find their dog.
I hope so. It's been around here 3 or 4 days, so
Okay.
I know it belongs to somebody because it looks like it's in good shape and got a collar on it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Have a great day. Goodbye. Yeah, we'll help you find your dog. Absolutely. 865-457-1380, 877-711-4005. Anybody else? This is the time where you call me. I'll be back in 2 minutes with you, or we'll be back in 2 minutes with music.
Rogers Group. Who are they? Rogers Group is a family-owned business started in 1908 that operates in 7 states. Locally, they're in Oak Ridge and Campbell County. Rogers Group. What do they do? They offer high-quality products and services at competitive prices. They offer commercial and residential services, crushed stone, sand, gravel, asphalt paving, and road and bridge construction. Rogers Group. Where are they? 250 Union Valley Road in Oak Ridge and at 429 Queener Road in Jacksboro. Rogers Group, a local, family-owned, community-minded business.
Barney Fife here with some big news. Not just big news, this is really big news. The senior benefits team at Madison Insurance Group has a whole website that talks about nothing but Medicare. It's straighttalkmedicare.com, folks. If you have questions about Medicare, just nip it right in the bud. Visit straighttalkmedicare.com or call the senior benefits team at Madison Insurance Group at 865-425-7300. Tell them Barney sent you.
Don't be fooled by insurance companies telling you where you have to get your prescriptions filled. Anderson Crossing Pharmacy in Andersonville can fill your prescriptions, and they'll do it in about 10 minutes. And make sure you ask Anderson Crossing Pharmacy about their loyalty card. You can save 10% on over-the-counter items. Anderson Crossing Pharmacy is at 3318 Andersonville Highway. Call them at 865-494-8444, 494-8444. Family-owned and serving our area since 1995. Anderson Crossing Pharmacy, caring for you and about you.
As a homeowner, I'm always looking for peace of mind, especially when I have a costly, unplanned expense, like a cooling system repair or replacement. That's when I turn to the eScore Quality Contractor Network. They're the pros who've been specially trained and approved by TVA and your local power company. The quality contractors are licensed and insured, so you can be assured the job will be done right and inspected for free. Contact your local power company or visit energyright.com to learn more.
Hello, welcome to Trading Time on WYSH.
You mean ask your neighbor?
That's exactly what I mean. I'm glad you know what I'm doing because I
Hey,
don't.
Ron,
Hey,
Kurt, how you doing this morning?
I'm good, Kurt. How are you?
I just wanted to check. I'm going to call in and ask about the Reagan thing because I heard someone in here, happened to be my county commissioner, was talking about it with someone at the shop here, and I'm just curious what's going on because I do not know. I'm not keeping up. So
John has contested the race because he says that he feels that over 900 Democrats switched over to vote in the Republican primary.
Which I believe that, but I don't think you got a case against that because that's legal in Tennessee, unfortunately.
Actually, it's not. It's actually a crime, and it is illegal to.
In the primary, though, can't they pick which primary they want to vote in?
If you are not a bona fide Republican or not a Republican, or you have not participated in the Republican process past, you are not allowed to switch over and vote in the Republican primary as a Democrat.
Oh, really?
Yep.
See, I mean, I used to work up there, and I used to do nursing homes, and we just asked people, which primary do you want to vote in? They said, well, there's nobody running in Democrat. I'll vote Republican, or whatever.
There's a lot of people that do that. That's part of the problem. It's the folks say, okay, I've been a Democrat for X number of years. If I did want to switch over to the Republican Party, how do you do that? If I walk in and say I want to vote, you guys say, well, you're a Democrat. You've been associated with the Democratic Party, and therefore they don't accept them into the party. Party rules say they need to participate in the meetings of the Republican Party and some of these other things. But I don't know.
Well, that was to be a candidate, and I knew that, or to be a member of the Republican Party, you do have to go prove that the last two, they can, and they did this with Rick, what's his name, Rick Scarborough. They checked him. He voted in the last two primaries.
It's not two. It's not
in the presidential.
It's not two, but it's four. That you have to vote in the last four Republican primaries.
Okay. Well, they know that he didn't in 2016 or 2020 vote Republican. That's what I had heard. That's usually the case.
The last time that Rick voted Democrat was in 2012.
He didn't vote Democrat in 2016 and 2020?
No.
Well, that's interesting because that's what I had seen in the publication, but that's other candidates.
Yeah, that came straight from Rick. That came straight from Rick sitting here on the radio.
Well, it's a matter of record is the reason I mentioned it, see.
Yeah.
It is researched, and they used to do that. Alex Mosley, when he was, Republican chairman, he used to research that.
Yeah.
He would tell people, you didn't vote in the last two Republican presidential races, not primaries, but presidential primaries. And they can tell that, and he told them in the meeting, if you didn't vote in the last two Republican primaries during the presidential race, then you cannot be part of the Republican Party as of tonight.
Yeah.
In other words, if you want to bring some issues up, you're not allowed because you haven't been officially.
Well, the state redid all of that 2 years ago, going on 2 years. They redid it, and it is a misdemeanor crime to switch over and vote.
Sheriff was here talking about it. Did you hear Russell here talking about it Wednesday?
I didn't get to, no.
We spent about an hour and a half talking about it.
So,
yeah.
I don't have any information for you. I'm just asking.
Well, it is illegal. How they're going to enforce it, and here's the thing. Calling for the election to change because of that. What if the folks went in there and didn't vote for Rick? How do you know that?
Yeah.
So how do you disenfranchise the ones, how do you disenfranchise the Republicans that voted for Rick?
Well, actually, already Republican and chose.
So I think.
I said before the race, when somebody asked me would I vote for Scarborough, I said, let me explain this to you. And it was old Carl, what's his name? Claude. Claude's 94 years old. I run into him everywhere.
Yeah.
Senior center at the fitness center. I run into him everywhere. And he had the Scarborough hat on, and he said, are you going to vote for Rick Scarborough? I said, no, actually, I'm not. I said, because John Reagan was a good friend of mine. He helped me in the business I'm in, get rid of the sales tax. He pushed for that 10 years ago, and I'm loyal to people that do that sort of
fair.
thing,
Yeah, you should be.
And that was so. But I said, Rick Scarborough will win. And he says, why is that? And I said, well, it's very simple, Claude. I said, he's going to get all the Democrat votes that vote in the Republican primary and half of the Republican votes. So I know he did get Republican votes as well.
Well, sure. Sure. I mean, you look at in the Democratic primary, when they cast their vote in the primary on the 1st, I think Ann had 2,100 votes, 2,300 maybe. I can't tell. It was 2,000 and some odd. And then Rick and Reagan together had nearly 6,000, of course, with Rick having a couple hundred more than John.
Yeah, that was a real low turnout. I was actually surprised by that in itself, to tell you the truth.
But according to the sheriff, according to the Republican state party, if somebody that's a Democrat switched over and voted, they committed a crime. In fact, I was talking to a good friend of mine, good friend of Chief Scarborough's, and they said, I want to vote in the primary, but I don't want to be a reason that somebody brings forth a suit against the election because he's a staunch Democrat, but he wanted to vote for Rick, and he also made this point, said if John Reagan didn't want me voting in his election, why has he sent me 251 mailers asking for me to come vote for him?
Exactly. I mean, that's a lot of mailers.
He sent them to a bunch of Democrats too. I mean, I know people that voted in
pretty much everybody's box, probably that ever voted. The way I saw it.
Well, if it's illegal for that guy that's a Democrat to vote for you, I don't know why you would send them. Why you'd spend $20,000 to send out a bunch of flyers to them.
Right. So, what's interesting is there's 3 of us live at my address. Actually, there's me and my wife. My son finally moved out. But I'm getting 3 of every single thing that they mail out.
Exactly. I think I'll just tell you what I think. I understand completely why there is a worry about it, because
I appreciate you enlightening me. I did not know. I really didn't know I did hear, like I said, a county commissioner was in the shop the other day talking, and she was quite upset about the way this had went. And I said, I didn't know there was a problem. She didn't have time to go into detail. Deb, she was busy doing something.
Sure.
And I said, well, I'll look into that. And then I heard you mention it this morning. I said, well, might as well just go ahead and call that.
Thank you, Kerry. Well, I don't know everything there is to know about it, but I can tell you, according to Russell and the state, it is a crime. I'm anxious to see if they actually prosecute it. I don't know how they would or if they would. We'll see.
They wouldn't be going after the candidates themselves. They'd be going after the people. Is that correct?
Yes. And you know what? I'm not even really comfortable with that, but I'm okay with it. But I don't think you unwind a race. It's kind of one of those things that if they held their guns to it this time, it would prohibit it next time.
But boy, oh boy, what a fiasco that could turn out.
Oh my Lord! In an era, you just got through talking about low turnout, and in an era when we want as many people as we can to vote, and I'm telling you, our Republican Party, we need as many people as we can to adopt our ideals and the things that we believe in. That we need to try and encourage them to do so. I don't know, making it hard to vote for the candidate of your choice, especially how in the world a Democrat in East Tennessee right now, they're never going to win. I mean, not in this climate.
Alex kind of turned that around when he became Republican chairman. He actually turned that completely around. And, you know, one of the things that happened is we won the state.
Yeah.
Remember?
Absolutely.
And when they won the state, that's when they appointed Mark, I can't think, the election commission.
Stevens.
Stevens. They appointed Mark Stevens head of it because it works like that. I didn't know that. And Alex said, yep, here's how it works. If the state has the majority house, you know, if the Republicans have the majority in the state, then each county gets to pick the election, you know, official.
Yes.
And I didn't know that. And that's one of the things he enlightened a lot of us on because he was kind of a policy wonk kind of guy, you know.
Oh, yeah. No, Aaron, absolutely.
Yeah, he went down and got the details, you know, and that made all the difference because this is something that we need that kind of, you know, research again, it looks like, because I didn't know the rules had changed. I really didn't. I hadn't paid attention. Last 4 years, I kind of been out of it.
Well, when they started talking about it, you know, we've heard about this for a long time, and I was just kind of, whatever. They're not going to do anything. But evidently, they changed a couple of things about 2 years ago and really got tight on this. And we'll see what comes out of it. I'm like you, it's going to be a mess.
Working off the old playbook the way it used to be. I didn't know.
I don't know either. We'll find out. I do believe, though, if they're going to do anything, it needs to just be with individuals that crossed over. They can't go and unwind an election. I just don't think that's a good thing.
Golly, yeah. That's certain things you just can't do.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one of them, it looks like. Yeah. Anyways, it's going to be interesting to see. Thanks for keeping us up on it.
As best I can, I will.
You have a great day.
See you, Kurt. Bye-bye. Good morning. This is Ask Your Neighbor, WYSH.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah, bud. That's good. How are you?
Good. Sleepy.
Hey, John. How are you, buddy-o?
Oh, doing good. Walter and Jim ready to get that dragon wagon rolling down to Cleveland.
They are getting it rolling down to Cleveland. I was talking earlier, and James David, one of my twin boys, is going down. He's going down too. He's gonna observe. He wants to get involved and help with the football broadcast, which makes me happy.
That's awesome. I know Walter used to be a spotter for Charlie Phillips.
That's how Walter got started. Yes, sir.
Yeah, back in the day growing up. So, yeah, that'll be an exciting time.
It will be.
For your son, yeah.
I'm excited. I played your history lesson earlier, and I'm going to play it again here before we wrap this up today.
Okay, appreciate it, yeah.
Oh, no, I appreciate you doing it for us.
Well, thank you. I enjoy doing that and love my Dragons and the history and, 100 years. Just a few years ago, we celebrated Clinton football, so just trying to relive it and keep it alive.
Hey, buddy, I you know what? I learned something about every time I listened to your history lesson. I had forgotten about when we played them back coming out of the '92 season. I forgot about that. I'd forgot about some of those games a long time because we went a long time and didn't play them.
Yeah, Cleveland. They're really good teams. They're won 3 straight state championships. I think we played them twice, and one of them played them really close one year down there. And
yeah, 3 points, I think it was. Late field goal there. Yeah, late field goal, I think.
Yeah, I remember listening to that game. Nobody gave us much chance to win, but Coach Gaylor, he had them boys ready that night.
Yeah, that was Walt.
Had them.
Walt Stair called that game that night. I remember it. It was an exciting game.
Yeah. His wife, Rhonda, she's the mastermind behind the
Stair broadcast?
Yeah.
Yes, I do know that. She's also the mastermind behind any of the technology that happens up there.
Right, yeah. She's a producer, I call her down
there. And that's kind of one of the reasons. James David's involved. I'm kind of excited to have him in there. 14, 15-year-old kid knows more about this stuff than all of us.
Yeah, I know it. I'll tell you, I'd be lost with it, too. I get aggravated sometimes. Every time I get on the computer, it seems like it just something happens.
We simplified it a lot this year. I bought a new piece of equipment you've got a little Y that plugs into the phone, and it Ys out One of the Ys goes to the power to keep your phone on. The other Y receives the audio from the audio board. And then we bought some software that Walt literally just has to push the phone, turn it on, and there's a microphone. He touches that microphone, and it connects directly to the station, and he's on the air. So we have simplified it as much as I think we can because it's hard on all of us old folks.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a lot that goes into that, and technology these days.
Well, I was just talking. In fact, I've just now got a text from Brad. I was just talking to him because we're getting ready to. I don't know if we'll be able to get it up and running full force this season. I plan to, but I'm not sure. But we're going to add video. We're going to add live video to our audio broadcast streaming on our website and on our Facebook page. So we're going to do that. And what I was...
Yeah, I saw that. I saw a comment you made. That's great.
That's another reason, too. That's another thing that I've tasked James David with doing is that's going to be one of his things. Is he's going to have the shot of the field and that and make it kind of handle that end of it once we get everything going. But I wanted to reach out, too, to the guys that are doing it, that Dragon Vision stuff. They try and do it, and they don't charge anything. So I wanted to reach out to them, too, first before I do it because I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to knock them out of doing anything. So I had Jasper reach out to them about possibly combining our stuff together, help them out because they don't sell advertising. They have to get donations to pay for stuff. So sometimes they get to do it because they have it. Sometimes they don't. They missed a couple of games, the last couple of seasons because they just didn't have the wherewithal to get down there or they couldn't get internet or whatever. So I had Jasper reach out to them before I do it because if we do it, I'll throw a bunch behind it and do everything we can to make it, very successful. But it would probably be at their expense, and I certainly don't want to do that. But you wouldn't believe how many people listen to our broadcast. And I can't tell you how many times they've said, man, I wish this was on TV. Now, I can't get it on TV all the time because Brad covers all kinds of games. You know what I mean? We can't have it every week on TV live. But I thought, well, I could do that on the internet. And one of the people that encouraged me to do it is quite a successful business person, and they're willing to put money behind it to do it and do it professionally, where just to combine it with our broadcast and have the audio or have the video. So we're going to do that. I don't know how quickly we're going to do it. We just came up with the idea to do it maybe about a week and a half ago. So we started working on it then. So we're going to do it, but we don't.
Yeah, I think that's great. That's how it is nowadays, all the streaming, and be great to wish to get in on that.
Yeah, I mean, we already do all the audio and stuff, but the video, and it's not easy, but it's much easier than it used to be. What Brad was basically recommending is you put a Comcast box in the home press box, and you can buy these other boxes you take with you, and then you can subscribe to cell service on that, and you can have away game coverage as well. So we'll see. We're going to get it. We're going to get it rolling. These last few weeks have been so busy. We've been chasing our tails, so we haven't had time to implement new stuff just by trying to take care of the old stuff. But we're on it. Jasper's already talking. I mean, we've already got at least one, probably two people that'll come on board and be the sponsor of the video part of it. So it's going to, I mean, we've made
on
WYSH Radio.
And also.
Yeah, we would do it on WYSHradio.com and put it on Facebook, YouTube. We just put it on all the stuff. I'd have to get with Brad to help me. And that's another person I'm not interested in hurting. I mean, he's my business partner, so I'm definitely not going to hurt his business, but he can't do Clinton Dragons every week. He's a regional coverage. He does a bunch of different people. So I'd have to get with Brad and him help me do it. But I mean, I got enough people around me that know how to do it that we can pull this off, and we're going to do it.
That's great. That'd be more on Rhonda's plate, won't it?
Well, yes, Now,
James David.
He's already he told me last night he's already got some ideas. I said, well, even if you just took your phone and held it up there, it'd be good. He's like, Dad, you can't do that. That wouldn't sound good. So we'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm very proud. Did you know Trey's marching in the Pride of the Southland this year?
I did not know that.
Oh, he's going to be. He told me where he was. He is at the top of the tee, either at the top of the tee. When he said top of the tee, I wasn't sure, but he's over on the home side when they form the tee, playing a saxophone over by the sideline. Oh,
really?
Oh, yeah. He was telling me where his position was going to be. You know, where he lines up, because I'm trying to find him. It's exciting. I'm really for the first time ever, I bought a parking pass over there just for the first game over in G, right there next to the stadium. So we can be right there when they come down, do the Vol Walk, and he comes down and marches and all that. So I'm gonna be Friday nights with James David at Dragon Ball, and then we're gonna be Saturday with Trey at the University of Tennessee marching. So I'm a proud papa.
Oh yeah, you are. You have to get there early for the Ball Walk. But James David, he played middle school for Clinton last year basketball.
He did. He played for the Blaze, and then he played for the Hawks, and he's playing for Chris this year. He's on the team this year. He made the high school team.
I'm watching him play. It'd be great for him to get involved there.
Yeah, he told me, he said, Dad, I can be involved unless it bleeds over into basketball season. And then I said, I get it.
Yeah.
He's
that's great. Them Dragons, yeah, they got a lot of new players. You know, you mentioned all those starters we lost, but those young kids are itching to go, you know, and they're excited. And I've watched every scrimmage this year they've had. And they've gotten better and better each season.
Jasper says there's a lot of excitement, that these kids are really geeked up, amped up, and that there is a lot of excitement swirling around the team right now.
Certainly is, and the Coach Hammock there, I think that's really good. Come in, provide some stability. You know, he's been there for quite a while, and leadership and experience, you know, and that was good. The principal, Robbie Harold, bring him in, I thought. So.
I think that was a good choice, too. They're used to him. He's used to, I mean, he was a play caller. He ran the offense, so he's more than capable of doing it. He was a champion at the middle school, as was his brother. So, I mean, we've got a good shot. I'll put it to you that way. So I think he's the right coach right now.
Yeah, good guy, great guy.
Absolutely.
Okay, Ron, I'll jump off here and listen to the history lesson here in a little bit.
Thank you, John.
All right, thank you.
See you, buddy. Bye-bye. Appreciate John. He does. He provides that for us the last couple of years, and we do appreciate it. And it's extremely educational, and I'll prove it to you when we come right back, because I'll play it for you.
Hey, friends, it's Cougar from Rusty Wallace Nissan, and our end-of-summer sales event is going strong. For the first time ever, get up to $10,000 over KBB value for your trade. That's right, $10,000 over KBB for your trade, any trade. And you still get our exclusive, no-charge 200,000-mile warranty. Also, 0% financing on 5 different models. And mention this ad, and make 0 car payments till January 2025.
Shylock's Pawn in Clinton has some exciting news. They're having a month-long clearance sale in August with new markdowns every day. Not to get in too much of a hurry, but this is a good time to get started on your Christmas shopping, and Shylock's Pawn in Clinton can help you get started. So come on in and save money. Shylock's is your money-saving headquarters. And if you need money, you can get a loan from Shylock's. 1204 Clinch Avenue in Clinton, 865-457-2960. And remember, Shylock's has cash for you.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's time to get started on those projects you've been planning, and Ace Hardware in Clinton has what you need to get started. Whether you need tools, paint, lawn and garden equipment, or just about anything else you're needing for your home, the friendly pros at Ace Hardware are here for you. Ace Hardware is a proud supporter of the Clinton Dragons. Ace Hardware, 929 North Charles G. Severs Boulevard in Clinton, 865-457-1478.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Hello, everyone. This is John Sleepy Williams with the Clinton Dragons football history lesson. History lesson this week is on the Clinton versus Cleveland all-time football series. Clinton opens the 2024 season in Cleveland on Friday night. Cleveland leads the all-time series 4-0. The first meeting between Clinton and Cleveland was in 1993. This game was in Clinton, with Cleveland winning big 56-22. Cleveland was undefeated coming into week 9 of that season and would go on to win the first of 3 straight state championships in Class 4A. The Dragons came into that game that night with a record of 6-2 and fresh off a state championship game appearance at the Clinic Bowl in Nashville in 1992. After the loss to Cleveland, the Dragons would go on to finish with a record of 6 wins and 5 losses.
Oh, yeah, sure thing.
Bowing out to Tullahoma 21-18 on the road in the first round of the TSSAA state playoffs. Clinton made their first visit to Cleveland to play the Blue Raiders the next season in 1994. Cleveland was the defending state champs and had a 23-game winning streak. Not many fans gave the Dragons a chance coming into that game with a record of 3-5. But Clinton coach Jimmy Gaylor and his Dragons had other ideas. However, Cleveland survived the upset bid by the Dragons to win 18-15 on a long field goal late in the game. The two schools wouldn't meet again until 20 years later in 2014 in the first round of the TSSAA state playoffs. On a cold, frigid night in Cleveland, the Blue Raiders held off the Dragons and record-setting quarterback Tyler Thagerson to advance with a 10-7 victory. Clinton finished the season with a record of 7 wins and 4 losses, their most wins since 2009. The final meeting between Clinton and Cleveland was last year in the highly anticipated season opener at Dragon Stadium. The Blue Raiders bus arrived late with their players already dressed to defeat the Dragons in a high-scoring contest, 49-36. Clinton goes for the first win in the series against Cleveland Friday night at 7 o'clock in Cleveland. Thanks, everyone, for listening. This has been John Sleepy Williams with the Clinton Dragons football history lesson.
Thank you, Sleepy. Thanks so much. He will have that for us each and every week. A lot of research goes into that, and I appreciate it. I hope y'all appreciate it. I learn stuff all the time, which is cool. I enjoy listening to Sleepy do that for us. Let's see what we can get rolling here. 865-457-1380-877-711-4005, and we'll get you going. All right, let's see here what I got on the phone. Maybe. Hang on, push the button around. There we go. Hi, welcome to Ask Your Neighbor on WYSH.
Good morning to you, Ron.
What's up, brother?
I've been trying to listen to you there. Start with I think right after that guy that does all the talking there when you get done with asking or trading time there. I saw you had on the orange blazer, but I lost video.
Yeah, Brad had to change. He's recording something for Congressman Flashman, so he had to take us off.
Oh, okay then. But I don't know about everybody else, but me, out here where I live at, even on BBB 12 there, the audio there, it's getting this hard static.
That's what
often.
That's what Brad told me. Ever so often. In fact, we're trying to route it down. The audio is clean coming out of here. The only thing that I can't eliminate is the laptop that we use to process the audio video together. That maybe something inside of it, but we can't figure it out for the life of us. He and I have been trying to figure this intermittent static for months.
Well, I know that even when you was Sleepy was talking there a minute ago, it lasted probably for like 3 or 4 seconds during it straight. And then it came back.
And that was just the static on TV?
Hard static, yes.
Well, now, see, I don't... that feed, the audio he was taking from that comes directly from the WYSH online stream, and it doesn't have static. If that's the case, if it's doing it when the digital ads are playing and not when the video is on, then that's going to be something that's out of the building here. That's going to be either something on Comcast's end or on Brad's end, if indeed that's what's going on.
Well, I mean, this past week it was actually doing it too there during the video.
Yes, the video is where it does it the most, is what I understand. But you're saying it does it even when we're not doing video, even when you're just playing the music or just playing the audio.
Yeah, the audio there. Well,
Okay.
where you was playing that sleepy thing there a few minutes ago there, but I don't know. I usually watch on TV, but I don't know if it's doing that on the radio or not.
No, it's not doing it on the radio. Okay, and Brad's saying that his audio comes from Skype, so then he's pulling the audio from this little computer. At the end of the day, it's probably going to be the laptop that we're using to commingle the audio and video together that we send, I guess, because he'll tell me that it's going on, and I'll adjust a chord or something, and it'll stop, or he'll tell me it's happening, and I'll go to listen to it, and it'll stop. But it doesn't happen on the radio. It's just coming through the feed that he's getting, I guess, vis-a-vis Skype.
No, okay then.
We'll try and figure it out. We're both working on it.
But I wanted to throw in this as well there. Even though I pay about $270-something bucks a month there for Comcast there, but I watch basic TV for the most part, except when college football and stuff like that. I do watch quite a bit of ESPN. But anyway, I watch a lot of these westerns there on Grit TV and Stream Picks. And I watch westerns every night there. So, Pat, I'm sorry there, buddy, but I'm gonna go along with what your friends is telling you. I think you're crazy. I've never seen that.
I've never seen it. In fact, I'd never heard of drop an egg in a beer till I just looked it up. I mean, maybe I'd heard of it. Okay, Brad said it's doing static right now, this very second. Okay. Let me see. I'm adjusted. You hear any static on it right now, Mike?
Oh, I've had to get away from it so I could talk to you there because it started coming through the phone on me there.
I got you.
So I stepped into a different room.
Well, I just, it's one of those things I don't know how in the world or what in the world where it's coming from. It has to be, I'm going to say it has to be this old laptop. I probably just need to replace this laptop. I just hate buying new equipment. But if I have to, I have to.
Nothing's cheap anymore.
No, well, it's not cheap, and worse than that, just getting everything rewired, reset up, getting accounts reestablished, remembering passwords, hooking up the audio. It's just not for me. I'm glad I write everything down, or I've got it all saved, or I would never remember a password. Ever.
But another thing I want to name up too, and this is just my opinion, whatever, but I think that John Reagan's just crying over spilt milk. I mean, the people have spoke.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there that, of course, it was sort of different circumstances with when Trump there contested the last election, and I still think that was rigged. But this one here, I mean, the people spoke there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just can't see them going in there and changing the outcome of the election.
No, if they do, it's going to be a mess. I mean, I don't.
You talking about opening up a can of beans?
Yeah, because guess what? So let's say that they go and they pull out Mr. Democrat. You've never voted Republican. This is your first time you crossed over. And they say, yeah, okay, well, we're going to fine you. And then he says, well, I voted for John Reagan. What are they going to do then? Because John's contesting it because he's asserting that if you're a Democrat and crossed over, you only voted for Rick. But you don't know that. And how are you going to prove that?
And then again, and there he is sending his mail out to try to get the Democratic votes.
Yeah, I was talking with a business owner here in town. I think he said I could even use his name, but I won't. But he said the same thing. He said if John didn't want me to vote for him, and he said, why did he send me a hand? He said, I got stuff in the mail from John Reagan every day asking for my vote. And now I cast it, and they're gonna charge me for it. Shouldn't he be held accountable for soliciting us to do something illegal? I said, well, that, you know what, that you might have a case if it comes down to it, because, you know, when you send the stuff out and you say, this is me and I want you to come vote for me, and you convince a Democrat to switch over and vote for you or vote in our primary, it sounds like you were contributing to the delinquency, you know?
Oh, yeah. I agree there. But I remember some of that stuff happening there. It was, when I first heard about it, it was during a county commission meeting there, and I don't know. I don't know if the county commission had to vote on it or how that all happened there or whatever. But it was coming down to there that a lot of them there. I mean, they started running as independents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, we had several of our officials there. I won't say several, but there was a few there that changed parties there just because of the way that Anderson County and the biggest part of Tennessee has turned Republican.
Well, if you want a say in the elections as they stand today in Anderson County, you're looking at about 65-70% Republican, and that's pretty much how it's going to go. Now, a Democrat won in Oak Ridge. They unseated Aaron.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising to me.
Well, but that also shows that, you know, they went out and voted for their candidates. You know, it's not like they just walked in to mess with a race, just John and Rick's, obviously. So, I don't know how you unwind all that. I don't know how you enforce all that. I think our party has spent a lot of time wasting time talking about stupid crap like this instead of stuff that we're going to do. I'm so tired of hearing them say, oh, that other side is bad, bad, bad. It's like, pick the lesser of the evils. That's not really what this is supposed to be about. And I just feel like that we need, as the Republican Party, to be telling people, you know, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and stop saying you need to vote for us because they're worse. I'm just tired of all of that.
Oh, I know it.
They are worse, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I wish they would talk more about what they're going to try to do for this country and for the county, for whoever there, instead of talking about the other candidate.
We didn't have any policy whatsoever in the whole Democratic convention. None, zero, zilch, nada. And then they say, well, we're going to put it on a website. I'm frustrated right now because our politics have gotten to be like a popularity contest as opposed to being about what it should be about, and that is, you know, our crime, our borders, the things that are inflation. Inflation is killing people.
Oh, yeah.
So,
you're right there. I mean, and
the Inflation Reduction Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, which was really not inflation reducing because it's went up since then, Bidenomics has driven many businesses to a standstill. I mean, it's just really hard to trudge through all of the expenses and the costs and the way things keep going up and up and up and up unless you just pass it along to the customer. And in my business, the customer has plenty of choices to go elsewhere to look for stuff, you know, advertising and such. So it's you know, my costs have went up on everything. So do I. But I haven't went up on my advertisers yet, which means I'm eating it right now. But I can't afford to keep eating that kind of loss. Yeah, sooner or later, I'll have to do something one way or another, raise prices or do something if we don't get inflation under control and things start coming back down to normal.
Yeah, and then just look how far in debt this country keeps going because we're funding some of these other countries' wars.
I know that. I am as staunch ally as anybody, and I believe we should help and defend them. But I say it this way, you know, if you're not healthy, you can't go win a fight, and we're not healthy. We need to get ourselves fiscally healthy so that we are healthy.
I don't know. This whole world is upside down, in my opinion, there, and it don't seem to be getting any better. It's gotten worse there these last 3.5 years.
Russell gave a great illustration when he was here Wednesday. He said, when you're flying on a plane, they tell you, hey, if the masks drop out of the compartment, put your oxygen mask on first, then help your children and anybody else that needs help. In other words, you've got to be able to function and have oxygen to help those that can't get theirs put on properly. It's the same thing. We need oxygen in order to go help everybody else across the world that ain't able to breathe properly. And this administration, and even administrations in the past, haven't seemed to get that because we borrow money to give it away. And I've never seen anybody do that.
Yeah, you guys there had a pretty, lengthy conversation there.
It lasted for about an hour after we went off the radio.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Me and Russell sit around here and talk for about an hour about the same stuff, and it's frustrating. We talked a whole lot about the election. We talked about a lot of stuff. Talked a lot about Clinton High School. Of course, nothing about the investigation, but there are some characters that are still inside of Clinton High School as I speak this moment that were as deep involved as anybody in the grade-changing scandal. Dr. Parrott knows it. He says that he don't have the votes on the board to fire them because they're tenured. And Russell knows it. We talked about example after example that he had. I just am... and there's more than one, but for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, face-to-face, I know of one. So it's frustrating. We talked about that a lot. And
well, did he say that have they figured out whether or not that was criminal or not?
There are criminal aspects. At one point, there were 8 charges pending. I don't know who, and I don't know, but they were misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor charge, but it is illegal what they did, changing grades. It's a law.
I guess the question now would be: is anything going to be done about it?
Well, their investigation was not. He couldn't tell me. He couldn't go into any detail at all, frankly. But it's not done. And I know that that Dave Clark's is not done yet either. Dave told me they are still investigating it. And I know this. I know the state comptroller is investigating, and they're still doing it. I think they're investigating an absence changing, attendance changing. I don't want to call it scandal, but it happened in Morgan County, and evidently it happened here where they changed the attendance records in order to get more favorable funding for the free lunches. So they basically lie about how many kids were at school. So the state comptroller's doing that, and I don't know what's going to come out of that. I also know that the people that when we brought this up, the teachers, some of the teachers involved, I guess the state is looking at the charges or possible charges against them, and they've got their teaching certificates on hold. So there's still stuff swirling around out there. They're doing their best to hide it from us, and all that means to me is they're doing something, they're lying about it. When you try to hide it and you try to stick it under a rug or good old boy it, that means you've probably broken the law, or somebody else did under your watch, or you've got your family working for you and you don't want it to come out. But it's going to come out.
Well, I'm just curious as to, I'm sure that it's all true there, but what's going to be the outcome to the students that were the recipient of some of this grade changing and stuff there? I mean,
there won't.
Are they going to say, okay, well, I'm sorry now, buddy, we're going to take your graduation certificate away from you now. You're going to have to go back to school.
I'll tell you this. In one specific instance that I know about, the State Board of Education, Tennessee, recommended that some of these kids are on to college now, right? And some of these kids got scholarships. Now, they may not be full ride scholarships. They might have just been $500, or they might have been $5,000. I don't know. Some of them got full rides. But if you went to the university that doled that out, or that gave them the scholarship, and you told them he or she may or may not have earned it, there's a very good possibility that they withdraw that. And at the end of the day, it's not really the student's fault.
No, it's not.
The girl that I know whose grades were changed by a person that is in Clinton High School as I speak, she was tickled to death. she had went from failing every class to miraculously passing everything. And they told her, we changed your grades to help you. So, to punish her a year later in college or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know how you could do that.
You can't.
If you end up attaining a certain GPA and it qualifies you for scholarship money there, I mean, if it's been a year or two ago, that money's done been spent.
Well, I'll tell you this. Trey graduated magna cum laude. He had a number of different accolades. He's a hardworking kid. Got a full ride at the University of Tennessee. Music scholar. He's a bright kid. I'm blessed. One day I'll probably work for him. But that said, if 0.2 of his grade point average came off and he ended up losing that because somebody changed his grade, I think I'd sue somebody. I would be really upset because you're changing the whole trajectory of a kid's life.
Oh, absolutely.
So, again, all of this, have got me wound up, but there's just no call for it. You know what? We didn't need to do that. We didn't need a kid to sit down and take an entire year of school in less than 8 hours and then not have to return back to school. You've already passed your classes. You don't have to come back. It's okay. That's the kind of stuff that happened. I mean, that happened. So they need to do something about it. They need to turn a light on the people that did it, and they need to clear out the rest of the ones that are in there. And I don't care if they got tenure or not. I mean, so would they fire them if they shot somebody? Oh, we can't. They got tenure.
They're tenured.
Yeah, we can't do that as long as they don't kill nobody else. They rehired one of the ones that they did not renew the contract, and the instructions I got was, we are not putting them in a position where they have anything to do with grades.
Well, I've still never heard from anybody the reason for not keeping Coach Keith around or just not re-signing him.
Well, I will tell you that I've had people tell me stuff, and sometimes I think they want to tell me that, and they say, "Nah, I'm just going to let you know this, but we're not going to talk about this public," because they want me to say it. They want me to go, I've got a source that told me this, but I'm not going to do that. And I say this for the reasons that I was given on telephone calls with people that I talked to in authority over it. I have encouraged them to say that out loud publicly, what they told me and what they told at least one of my other friends. Two.
Right.
And so I'll let them do that. I invited Coach Keith to come up here and just talk about, for him to come up and tell his side of the story. And he said that he just loves Clinton. He's going to be in Clinton. He's here to do everything he can for the kids, and that's where he's going to leave it. So obviously he don't want to stir the mess anymore, and I don't blame him. But I think if they didn't fire him for playing an ineligible player, then they need to say why, or didn't rehire him because of that. Now,
that's
publicly.
That's exactly what I'm saying there. And I talked to a friend of mine and yours and the radio station over at Ingles the other day there.
And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And that was Wimp.
Yeah.
He just come off the lake, as a matter of fact, and was headed back. He had to restock on some supplies.
I was going to say, if you see him out, he's either coming or going to the lake.
Absolutely. He's a good one now, Wimp is. But
he is.
Another question I'll present to you, Ron, there, and I don't know if anybody else is trying to call or not there.
You're good.
But with Trey being a member of the Pride of the Southland band, I know that the student athletes over there, they are allotted I think, so many tickets for their family, and I don't know if that includes parking or whatever. But the members of the Pride of the Southland, are they allotted anything to hand down to their?
No, or if they are, he hasn't said anything about it. I bought for the first game. I bought 10 tickets to the first game and a parking pass over, I think, in G7. I've never done that. I've had season tickets for a long time, up until I guess about 4 years ago, and I'd never paid for a parking pass or not the kind of money. I paid $120 to park the car. I've never done that before in my life. I've paid $25 and $30, but I've never paid $100 and some. But I wanted to be right there at the stadium when that vol walk happens for the first time. Him come walking down that hill with the band. Somebody said, "I'll stand up on the bridge and watch it." And yeah, that'd be cool. But no, I want to be right down there, eyeball to eyeball level. I'm excited about it. So I bought a bunch of tickets. If he did get any, he didn't tell me. I wish he would have before I bought all these.
Yeah, well, I think there's only like a couple of the games maybe there, and it's some of the lower tier teams that's on the schedule there. That because all the SEC games and stuff at home, I believe they're all sold out.
Oh, I'm sure. I saw a guy yesterday offered me 2 tickets to Florida for $350 each. I said, that's okay. And I love UT football, and I've went forever. 35, 40 years I've been going to UT football games, but I'm not going to pay $350 for a ticket.
Oh, no.
I love them. I do, but I'm not even I might for a national championship, and I think I paid something like that for the SEC championship years and years and years ago. I might do that once in a lifetime or twice in a lifetime for big events, but for one, I can't afford it. 2, there's just too many avenues available to watch it nowadays.
I know I was talking. We had our fantasy football draft the other night there, and I was talking to my son's next-door neighbor up in Westwood there, Councilman Hatmaker.
Yeah.
He went out to when Tennessee was winning the College World Series there. Of course, he's got a Tesla, so he said, I didn't really spend no money on buying gas out there. And he had points built up, too, there. He had a bunch of points built up there in one of the big hotel chains. But the tickets there to the games was ridiculous.
Oh, they are.
Him and Mary went there. I don't know if it was $700 a piece or it might have even been more than that there.
Well, now, I'll confess, I've paid ticket prices like that to the awards show. However, that's a business expense. So
right.
I can pay for that out of the company when we go do that, and that makes the load a little lighter to bear,
Mm-hmm.
But that's, I've paid some expensive prices to go to the ACM is usually more than the CMA, believe it or not. The ACM, you can get up around that much per ticket.
I don't know how anybody affords to go watch any of these NBA games or anything like that.
Well, you can't unless $125 a ticket is a pretty much cheap ticket these days, or standard ticket.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess when that NBA stuff, when the players are basically almost making $500,000 or more each game that they play.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
it's got.
We're in the wrong business, Mike. We should have learned to play ball.
I think I was too busy trying to have too much fun.
I know exactly what you mean, pal.
For sure there, but I thought I heard something, too, on TV earlier. It wasn't today there. It's been a while back. Something about, G3 was a pretty popular parking place over there. Maybe they're getting ready to change things around in that.
I don't know. I haven't heard that. G10, what's the one up on top? I can't remember, but there's a few very popular ones over there. But
mm-hmm.
G is always popular because you're right there by the stadium.
Right.
Yeah, that's a short walk. That's one thing. I'm taking Mom and Dad with me, and they were worried about walking because I've parked all my life behind the Copper Cellar, and that's a good walk. And so that's another reason that I got this. I got this parking pass so that everybody go, and we don't have to walk a whole lot of ways just to get into the stadium, you know?
Oh, yeah. You definitely make it easier on Mom and Dad there.
Absolutely.
And yourself, too.
Yes, sir. And Brad said it's G10. That's what I'm talking about, the one at the top. Now, I've parked up there before, up on G10, but I didn't park. I rode with some people that had a parking pass up there. So I gave them tickets to the game. They let me, in exchange, I used their parking pass. They had some friends that they needed tickets for, and so we traded. I parked in their spot and took them with me.
Oh, I remember you, and I don't remember if that was in G3 or where it was there. It's been a few years ago there when maybe Coach Majors asked if it's all right if he parked in your...
No, that was behind the Copper Cellar. I had, that was back when we were doing the tailgates at every UT game with Merle, and I had 5 spots reserved. And mine, I parked right at the very first spot, right at the bottom. And Coach Majors, I had some up at the top, and he asked if he could use my spot where I had my car parked. And I said, well, yeah, absolutely. I just moved mine up the hill to one of the other spots that I had, and he went in there and parked in mine so he could go in and eat and get in and out right quick. But yeah, that was right behind the Copper Cellar.
Oh, he was actually just going in to get something to eat.
Yeah, he went in to eat. Yeah, no, Coach Majors come by a number of times, at least 4 times. Coach Majors come by and hung out with us with the Merle tailgate.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was real cool. It was super cool. He'd come. We'd take pictures with us and everybody that was around, and he'd go have himself something to eat and head off to the game or wherever he was going after that. I assumed the game.
Well, I didn't know if you'd heard there for next set. That's what, a 12:45 kickoff?
Yep, 12:45 kickoff, and then 2 hours before that's when they're going to do the ball walk. 2 hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours. So.
That I heard that the balls are coming out in smoky gray.
That's what I heard too. It's going to be exciting. It's a new smoky gray. That's what James David was telling me.
Yeah, I think it is a new smoky gray.
Yep.
I believe you're right there. And I don't know, listening to somebody that has a lot of close contact with the players and stuff, you know, a lot of the older traditional like ball fans there, you know, they're just all about the orange and white there. They don't like, of course, I'm not one that really likes change, but it's like 90%, if not higher, of the players, they love the different uniform changes and colors.
Oh, yeah. That's the kids like that. They're kids. You know, we forget they're kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? They like bright, shiny, sparkly stuff. You know, they're just kids. You forget, you know, you see these guys out on the field, they're playing and we're screaming, then you realize they're just 18 years old, 19 years old. They're the same age as Trey.
Yeah.
You know, you forget that. You forget it. And they love that stuff. I mean, Trey was, you know what? You know that the UT band replaced their uniforms this year for the first time in, you ready? 70. Count them, 70 years.
Wow.
They're the same, but they're way lighter. Those old ones were wool. Trey was very excited about that. I guess these new ones are linen or something where they're not so hot and heavy on them.
Right there.
Yeah. The kids like that. He was excited about being part of he's going to be part of one of the ones that debut the brand new uniform. So he was all excited, the brand new marching uniform. So he was excited. So I can just imagine the football players.
Right there. I just wonder, you know, I think a lot of that, of course, the guy that owns Nike out there in Oregon, you know, Oregon kind of started that whole thing there.
They did.
Oh, I love their different colors they come out in.
You know what? At first I thought, what are they doing? But once I realized what they were doing, and the guy gives them their uniforms, he provides them for them. It's fun. Why not? You know, I know there's some folks that you lose they think you lose the tradition, but I think you can preserve the tradition and add new stuff to it.
I'm all for it there, but I wonder if it's going to go to like, you know, of course it's not Haslam's anymore there. Who's that? Burke Hathaway that owns Pilot now.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to come down there. They're going to end up at some point. They're probably having Pilot stickers on their helmets or patches on their uniform.
Well, for $300 million that they're giving them?
Yes.
Yeah. They're going to have to put some stickers. It wouldn't surprise me if you have a big Pilot sign on the back of them.
Yeah. Well, they're already going to have different sections of the field there is going to have Pilot.
Yeah. And they're changing it to the Pilot Preservation, Neyland Field and the Pilot. I can't remember how they're doing it. It's kind of an odd way they're phrasing the name of how they're renaming the stadium. They're actually giving them naming rights on the stadium, too.
Oh, but they're going to keep Neyland Stadium.
Yeah, they're going to keep that, but they were adding Pilot to it somehow. I can't remember how they did it. The Pilot Project, Neyland Stadium Pilot. Somebody call and tell me. Somebody's on the phone. They'll tell me. Somebody's calling in and tell me.
All righty, then. I'll get off there and let somebody else talk, Ron. You enjoy your weekend, buddy.
Thank you, Mike. See you, buddy. Go Dragons.
All right, bye.
Bye. Good morning, WYSH Radio. Thanks for hanging on. Welcome to Ask Your Neighbor.
Yeah, the first thing I was wanting to say about the election.
Yep.
I'm a Republican, but I vote for who I want to, whether it be Democrat or Republican.
Yes.
I know people, and I've got family. They're Republicans. That's all they'll vote for is Republicans. Don't count. They got to vote for Republicans.
Yep.
I think I vote for the person that I think's best.
Yes, sir.
The president, that thing that's running for president, that old woman.
Yep.
I wouldn't vote for that outfit. There's no way. I've never supported Joe Biden or Barack Obama. And anybody that would vote for them needs to pack their bags and move their ass to China. What they're voting for.
Well, that's that's what we're going to get if they win.
Well, I hope they don't win. And I'll tell you another thing. If they win, I think everybody in the military ought to get together and start a war and take care of it. Not let them put this country the rest of the way to hell. That's like they're wanting to do. They don't care for nobody but themselves.
Right.
Them two inbred things, they need to go back from where they came from. That old Obama, I can't stand him. That old Harrison, I can't stand her. I'm not for them. I'm for Trump. And if they was done like Trump was, or they would own America, I guess. They don't have the balls to stand up to these foreign countries like Trump does, and these foreign countries knows.
Well, and I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I don't agree that I want the military to start a war with them if they win. I think this is what I was talking to Tracy about the other night. Here's what the Republican Party needs to do. President Trump needs to win by double digits, and if he can win by double digits, I know that sounds crazy, but Ronald Reagan did. It's been done. If he can win by double digits, that makes it, I think, mathematically impossible that they could steal or rig the election based on the voter rolls that we have. So and based on the swing states and how narrow, how we're split. And they say if we could win by 10 or 11 points, then they can't steal it. And that's what I'm shooting for. I'm shooting for good turnout. And kill him, shoot him. They've tried everything they can to stop him. And if people out there have any faith whatsoever, you're going to understand that Donald Trump's been protected by God, whether you want to believe it or not. Everything they've thrown at a person, just normal people would fold under the stress and the anxiety and worrying about going to prison, losing everything you've ever built. He just keeps moving right along. He keeps doing his job, and then now somebody shot at him, hit him, shot him, and he's still out there doing the job. So I feel like that we should, if we can't rally our base around this particular candidate, Donald Trump, I don't know that we're ever going to have such a pro-American candidate again, whether Republican or Democrat.
Yeah, and didn't he have to land his jet here a few weeks ago.
Because of a threat from Iran, they said.
Okay, because they was something. There's somebody messing with everything that he's got, and then what's his name? That's the vice president that he picked.
J.D. Vance. Yes.
Yes. He have to. They have to land his plane in emergency. Also after that.
I don't know. I thought Trump that they had identified some kind of threat. I heard about them landing his plane. I thought it was part of that the threat coming from Iran. There's a threat coming from there. But they act like that's new. They put a bounty on President Trump's head the day after he killed Soleimani. I mean, they've said they're going to try and kill him. So I don't know why they all of a sudden, now they're talking about it. That threat's been there. I think after they tried to shoot him, I guess they're trying to lay blame of that particular incident on this threat from Iran. I don't know, but I did hear about that. I didn't hear much about it. It's not been talked about much, has it?
No, but I heard about that they had JD. They had to emergency land his jet too. That I don't know what was going on, but they had to do both of them, and them things that's up there right now are running against Trump. Are the one they're involved in it. They got all this junk there.
They Brad just sent me a thing just now. Secret Service places multiple agents on leave over the investigation of the Trump shooting. I guess they've found somebody did something wrong. They put them on leave. I wonder if they put them on leave with pay. I've always thought, you know what that is? That's vacation. Leave with pay.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's been some movement on that today. We'll see how that turns out.
And that's just like the guy that was on trial last week and this week for murdering that lady in Oak Ridge.
Yes.
Well, I voted for Governor Lee, but I'll never vote for him again. Well, he's put in, can't go ahead and give them the lethal injection because we got to make sure everything's right or it won't be cruel to them. I guarantee you if that was his daughter or if his kinfolk, he'd want them punished as soon as they was found guilty. And you know what I believe? I believe that they ought to have an oak tree down in the front of that courthouse lawn, and anybody that does anything, murders anything, or child abuse to a kid, have him sit on one of them horses and 2 guards outside, have a rope around their neck. As soon as they find them guilty on the inside, hit that horse on the butt, and that would be the end of it. That's the way I feel about this, wasting all this money, taxpayers' money, on thugs like him to sit up there in prison or probably the rest of his life, eat good every day and stuff. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Not easy. Yeah, I got you.
Now, I don't know, but I heard out in Texas, if you still can, you get your butt hung.
I don't know if they still do that.
I don't know. I know one thing. My papa and my great-grandpa, you'd better never steal from them.
Well,
you're first and last stealing.
I got you.
They'd shoot you.
I understand. It's old school, brother.
Yep, and the good old days is gone, and they'll never be back.
I think you're right. I don't think they're coming back, but I agree with you on most of what you say. I'm the same way. We waste a lot of time and a lot of money. They're overly. I guess it's okay to be overly protective about human life. I understand that, but at some point in time, I mean, how many different appeals do you get? How long do you get? I mean, he did it. We're not really arguing about whether or not he did it. He did it. We know he did it. Now we're arguing about how we're going to punish him. That part ought to be, that's what we're arguing about. They found him guilty and they sentenced him to death. So we'll see how long it takes if he is put to death or not.
And how could anybody? He can't be human to do something like that. I mean,
no.
I like people. I like for people to have things. I like to get along with everybody. Who could go out? I mean, I couldn't kill nobody. Now, if they was breaking into my house or something, if it was my life against theirs, yeah, something like that, or my family.
Yes.
But Now, I like people. I like to get along with people. I love people.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see people have things. There's people out there that don't have this and don't have that. They're so jealous they can't stand it. I've never been jealous of anybody or anything. Money, you got to have money to live.
Yes, sir.
Money don't mean nothing to me.
I got you.
But, I mean, this world, all we've got is the good Lord is all we've got. And I don't know what's going to become of this country. I mean,
well, you know what? I'll tell you, praying folks need to pray. Prayer works. I'm telling you.
Yes, it does.
It does. And we as Christians, me, Ron, I don't pray as much as I should. And we should pray for this country, and we should pray for the outcome, you know, that the Lord wants for this country. And I just, you know, I'll tell you this. If you read the Bible, you know there's the end of time coming. You know, it says that they're going to call wrong right and right wrong. It even talks about men will be with men and women with women. I mean, it talks about the end of times. We're living in that right now. So it's not surprising. But it still don't make it any more palatable or any more that it says it's going to happen and stuff like that is happening. So but it doesn't make me wish that it wasn't, and it doesn't make me want to elect a president that is opposed to it. And so that's where I put my effort. I'm with you. I'm voting for Trump. I've got a Trump flag in front of my house and in back of my house. I got the American flag, the state flag, and the Trump flag. So when you drive by a house and you see that, that's probably mine. But
where did you get your Trump flag? I've been wanting to get me some Trump stuff and put up.
There is a Trump superstore right down at the Loudon exit. If you go down 40, huge Trump superstore down there. I think it used to be either a fireworks store or something else, but it's just called Trump Superstore. But you can order them online about anywhere if you've got a computer or phone. You can get it all. Just go Google Trump stuff. You can buy it from Amazon and anywhere you want.
Yeah, I know used to there was a place in Oak Ridge, which I guess they still are, that you could get whatever you wanted to.
I think you can. I think I saw somewhere, I was driving down there the other day and saw a sign. I can't remember where. You can, if you want one bad enough, you can find one.
Yeah, I'll find. I want me a big one to go around and put around my fence.
Good luck finding one. All right,
I'm gonna get me one.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. I'm gonna grab these other lines unless you've got something else to say.
You have a good weekend. I appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Bye-bye.
And go Trump.
Yes, sir. Go Trump. And go Dragons. Good morning, WYSH. You're on Ask Your Neighbor this morning.
Hey, Ron.
What, buddy?
I wish somebody could get the Democrats to answer Trump's question. They've had 4 years to do something about all this stuff, and they're just now talking about trying to do something about it. I wish somebody could get them to give us an answer.
Well, they keep saying, we're going to do this on day one. That's what Kamala says. Well, day one, she's been in there for how many hundreds of days? Why do you, and guess what? If she can do it day one, why don't she go do it right now?
Yeah.
Why wait?
Why? I don't understand that.
Because she's a liar.
Yeah, there you go. That's what Trump said.
Well, it's the truth. If you could do it, why didn't you do it?
I can't believe all the stuff they've done to him, and he's still hanging in there.
Well, that's why I said anybody that has any knowledge of faith or has any faith or Christian has to understand and see that the Lord is keeping him. He amassed a fortune of, I don't know how many billion, but let's just say $5 billion. They have threatened the man's entire livelihood, his life, what he spent his life doing. They're trying to take it away from him.
I know it.
And his kids, his grandkids, all these people, the people that he employs, all of them would suffer. So just that, facing that would worry me. But then he's got all the political problems. Then they're trying to kill him. Then they're trying to put him in jail. I mean, it's.
I know that's awful.
Well, if I told this to David West the other day, I said the Lord's keeping you and Donald Trump around because y'all ain't finished with whatever he's got for you. That's just it.
Is David doing all right, buddy?
I talked to Karen the other day, and she said he was he's rehabilitating his hip, and he's in good spirits. I meant to call him. I say this all the time. I get so busy, I forget to do it.
He is coming back on the show.
He sure is. That's what it said. That's what they said. Yes. So he'll be back. He's just mending up.
Okay, then. You tell him everybody out there praying for him.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ron.
See ya. Bye-bye. 865-457-1380. That's our telephone number. Let's Ask Your Neighbor. I hope you're having a good day. It's nice of you to tune in, dial in, whatever is on your mind. Call in and share if you'd like to, or we'll wrap things up. A lot of stuff going on. I with the politics around here locally, having a death penalty trial. I talked to Rex, and he's going to come up and tell us as much of the inner workings of that as he can. It was a pretty cumbersome deal. That's when Russell was here Wednesday. He said it's probably cost over $100,000. I thought it cost more than that. Just it seems like it would, taking people back and forth and hotels and that. But it didn't last months like some of these trials do. But still, it cost the taxpayers, six figures. That's a lot to put on. And then the taxpayers are going to pay for him to sit and wait, and her too. Yeah, she traded, life sentence, I guess, or 250 years in exchange to testify against him, take the death penalty off the table. But, taxpayers paid for the trial, taxpayers paid for the juries, and now taxpayers are going to get to pay for 3 hots and a cot for both of them, probably for the rest of their life. Good morning. WYSH, Ask Your Neighbor.
Yeah, I don't know what that machine was that fella was talking about mixing that egg with.
Yeah.
But up here at the Ridgewood, they used to make as a milkshake when we was planning on going and getting drunk. They'd mix a milkshake and put a couple eggs in it and put it over in that little blender, and we'd drink it, and then you could, I don't know.
You could consume
your stomach a little bit, and you could drink a little more, I believe.
Maybe that's what it is. It's to aid the alcohol intake. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
We used to do that back in the late 70s, early 90s there.
Okay.
Another.
I don't.
The Ridgewood, don't you?
I remember the Ridgewood, but I don't never remember putting eggs in nothing. I don't remember.
Make us a vanilla milkshake and put a couple eggs in it and drink it.
I didn't. To my knowledge, I've never had one of those. I don't think. The closest I ever came to anything to do with raw eggs is when Rocky came out. There was all that craze. And one of my buddy, he was like, I'm going to do that every morning. I said, not me. No, thank you. You go right ahead. You just have at it, but I'm going to pass.
Hey, when they put it in that milkshake, you couldn't really ever taste it.
True. Yeah.
But you could drink a few more beers and not get sick. That's what we thought anyway.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
But I ain't never putting her in the beer.
No, me neither. Thank you, pal.
All right. See you, Ron.
Bye. I say probably what Pat saw was the old Western version of what we now know as a blender, I reckon. I don't know what it's called. I'd never seen anything like that. But there you go. Man, you talk about a diverse conversation. We've talked about eggs and beer, and politics and Jesus, and you name it. Huh? That's all right. Whatever y'all want to talk about, that's what we do. 865-457-1380. We'll come back and we'll talk about it in 2 minutes, or we'll come back and wrap it up in 2 minutes. Whatever that you would like to do. This is Ask Your Neighbor on a Football Friday. Dragons, home of the Clinton Dragons since 1960. One day, maybe, someone will be sitting here, one of my kids will be sitting here talking about, we were talking about Walt, how he was a spotter for Charlie Phillips. And Charlie was the voice of the Dragons. Charlie was the voice of the Dragons for a long time. And then when Charlie left, Walt took his place. And so James David's going in. He'll be doing spotting and whatever else Walt needs him to do tonight for the broadcast. And you never know. He might be the voice of the Dragons one day. You just never know. Just sit and wait and see. It's Football Friday. Tonight, our broadcast will begin at 6:40 with Walt Stair and Jim Hollingsworth. James David Meredith will be there with them as well. Jasper's going to be there. I don't know if he's going to be in the booth or not. Knowing Jasper, he'll get a word in edgewise with somebody, but Jasper Young will be there. We've got the Ho-Hee-Haw gang. We take care of this and get you guys the best broadcast of Clinton Dragons football, the longest broadcast, the only broadcast right here on your commercial radio. And hopefully you guys tune in, dial in, listen in. We would really appreciate it. If you know somebody that's a Dragons fan, let them know we've got it on the radio. You can go to wishradio.com and listen to it. You can pull it up on your Alexa and listen to it. You can listen to it on the TuneIn Radio app. We got it all for you. Well, if you want to hear about the Clinton Dragons, if you want to hear the game, well, there you go. We've got it for you, one way or another. Back in 2 minutes, okay?
H&H Body Shop is a family-owned and operated body shop. Here's Darla, co-owner of H&H Body Shop, on how she ended up in the family business.
Well, I was born into it, but I did choose it. I helped my dad at night on his paperwork when I was a kid. Then I started during high school coming up here. Then after I graduated on state, I ended up here full-time. Daddy got ready to retire, and he wanted me and Barry to do it together, so me and Barry became partners in the early 90s, and we've stuck together ever since.
What do you think sets H&H Body Shop apart from all the others?
We try to fix your car like it was our own. A lot of times other body shops just don't care like that. We're family business, and we act like a family business.
H&H Body Shop on North Main Street in Clinton. Call 865-457-9734. H&H Body Shop. There since 1960. There when you need them.
Are you looking to take your business to the next level? Foxy Wraps specialize in commercial vehicle wraps and complete company branding. Unleash the power of a mobile advertising billboard that goes with you. Show up at your next job looking professional and collecting work referrals wherever you are. Most vehicle wraps will pay for themselves with referrals during the first year and give customers the confidence to do business with you over your competition. At Foxy Wraps, they do boats, walls, windows, and color change wraps on your personal vehicles. For a quick quote, just send a picture of your vehicle to 865-973-0000. That's 973-0000. Or visit FoxyWrapsTN.com. That's FoxyWrapsTN.com.
Boys and girls and moms and dads, anybody else here, there, or anywhere? I just got a text from David Farmer, but I want to make sure it's from David Farmer before I open it because it is a attachment. I'm real particular about opening attachments because I get on your phone, and then before you know it, you got to, yep, okay. Oh, thank you, David. Here we go. Egg in a beer. It's a trend that started, okay, look at this. All about the 1900s and a trend that swept, it says New Jersey. St. Patrick's Day around the corner, blah, 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 let's see. An egg in a beer seems like an odd thing, odd question, but for much of the 1900s, most people perfectly understood what this meant. And many even thought it was a scrumptious idea. The practice became so popular, it entered the American lexicon as a common expression. Really? Egg in a beer. Well, there you go. In the 1800s, beer was not considered an intoxicant, as opposed to hard liquor. At a time when water sources were regularly contaminated, beer was often a safer option. Oh. As many Hoboken, New Jersey residents learned during the Hoboken water crisis. The egg in your beer craze spread across the United States from northern Pennsylvania. In mining towns in northeastern Pennsylvania, bars would open at 5 in the morning to accommodate the crowd gathering in order to have what they called a miner's breakfast. Two raw eggs cracked into a beer and a shot of whiskey on the side. Wow. Much like Pennsylvania beachgoers in the summer, the egg in your beer tradition traveled from Pennsylvania to New Jersey, but unlike PA motorists, this import was heartily welcomed. The drink became so popular it even entered
Common American slang. By 1971, New Jersey residents had forgot about the practice, but were still familiar with the expression. Huh. The phrase, egging one's beer, according to the American Thesaurus of Slang, is a term generally meaning too much of a good thing. Thus the popular question, what do you want, egg in your beer? Would seem to say, do you, or why do you, want too much of a good thing? Still doesn't talk about the machine. But there you go. So this started up there, the miners in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and became a big thing across the country for a while. Well, they even had, here you go, I'm looking at the $1.98. The gift for the Hop Happy Connoisseur. Egg in your beer, a $1.98 gift box. It's got I guess it's a beer mug. Interesting stuff. Okay. Good morning, WYSH.
Radio, can you please hold?
Sure.
That's it. You're on. You're welcome to ask your neighbor.
Hey, I want my eggs fried. Thank you.
I'm the same way. But yeah, egg in your beer from New Jersey. That's where it started, brother.
But anyway, I forgot to ask earlier. I talked to Jasper and the high roller both yesterday there, but I forgot to ask him. I know that the new OEB Sports Talk show is going to preempt prime time
on Tuesday.
But is that going to be strictly audio, or is it going to...
No, we're going to be on TV. Just like
that's going to be on TV?
Yeah, just like prime time.
Oh, okay. That's a good deal then. Well, you answered my question then.
Yeah.
I'll be able to watch it on TV.
That's why we scooted it down. Brad had live programming on, and we just decided to go ahead and just scoot it down and take Tuesday prime time. And that way, too, it gets Tim of OEB, it gets him a little more bang for his buck, having it on the television as well. So we wanted to do that, trying to, he's new to us sponsoring sports up here. So we want to make sure we get cross all of our T's and dot our I's. Plus, he's an attorney.
Oh, yeah. Well, Tim Elrod does a lot for high school sports.
Yes, he does. He certainly does. And we're very appreciative and very happy to have him on. But, yeah, that's one of the things we were talking about. We wished we could do it at a time when we had it on TV, and just thought, well, actually, I think it was Brad's idea. He said, why don't you just take one of your primetime spots? Well, we're like, well, that's pretty genius. Let's just do that. Let's just take a primetime spot. If we've got a password sponsor, we'll move it over to a day we don't have one, so we can do that and open it up. And so that's what we're going to do starting Tuesday. They're all going to be here. I think Tim's even going to be here. I don't know if he's going to be here live or he's going to come in Tuesday and record some stuff. But we're going to have him up here. I think Walt's going to be here. Jasper's going to be here. Coach is going to be here. James David's coming. He's going to be here. He's going to be part of it. So it should be a very fun and interesting program.
A good deal. Then did Jasper actually recruit OEB, or did they come to him?
No, he recruited him. He's been after him for about a year. He's been on him. That's what Tim said. Tim said, "I'll tell you, this guy right here, he is tenacious. Yeah, he's relentless. He and he is. And because Jasper knows it's a good thing for us, but it's a good thing for Tim too. It is. It's good to be part of all the local sports.
That gives him a lot of publicity as well.
Yeah, Lord, yeah.
So it's a win-win for both sides.
That's what we all think. We all believe that, and he's coming on to do it. So he's the title sponsor of the Sports Talk Show, and we're happy to have him. We hope we get to do more stuff with him. He's negotiating with us right now to go on to Merle and get involved here with the stations that are right here in his backyard and the local community.
Well, good deal then. Yeah, that's I can't wait for it to get started there.
You got to wait till Tuesday.
I thought I'd already overslept, or not overslept. I'd forgot about it this past Tuesday, but with not a lot of content, there not have already been a game and everything, they decided to delay it to this coming Tuesday.
I know that Jasper's too. He's got an alumni day they're going to do in September. And I think he's working with Jerry Shattuck on that. So we'll probably have Jerry up talking about that. Probably going to have some Dragons of the Past up. He'll probably have players. He's got Jasper puts a lot of work and a lot of time and effort, blood, sweat, and tears into getting all this stuff ready for sports season. He really does. It stresses him out sometimes, but he puts a lot into it, and you can tell when you listen to it. It turns out it's a good product. It's fun, it's good, and it's good for our community.
Yeah, I know when I talked to him yesterday, he said, well, if you know of any former Dragons or anybody that played for Clinton and down there, let me know there, and we'll try to get them up here. And I told him there, I said, well, you need to get Bear Stevenson up there.
Get Bear, yeah.
I said, I think the last time he was on TV or something, I think you may have had him up there, and he was because I think he was saying something like what it was that Jasper was talking about, some of the old like leather jackets and stuff like that. And I said, Bear has still got his, still fits him like a glove.
I was gonna say, he told me he still had it and it still fit.
Yeah, of course. I don't think I hope he was a little heavier than that when he played football back then, but I just remember aggravating him. I said, Lord, when you played there, that's when they was in them leather helmets. And he said, God, Mike, I ain't that old. But anyway, I appreciate the info, Ron.
Thank you, Mike. See you, buddy.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Well, good morning. Now good afternoon, I reckon. Welcome to Ask Your Neighbor.
Hey, good morning, Ron.
Howdy.
Appreciate everything you do.
Well, thank you.
Hey, I want to make a request, please. It's on the First Baptist broadcast again. We've had the same thing for 3 weeks.
Okay. What's wrong?
And if you could help, well, they're running